Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 19 of the Make It Rain podcast. 3 games for your Ontario Reign this week. Let's just cover it right here, right now. Go.
Here we go.
Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 19 of the Make It Rain podcast alongside Mayor's very own Anthony Collazo. I'm Joe O'Regan. 3 games for your Ontario Reign this week. We are oh so close to the All-Star break. We are oh so close to the Olympics as well. I am ready to watch the U.S. beat Canada on February 22nd or whenever the championship is. I'm calling it now. They're going to win 5-3. Count it right now. Here we go.
Count it.
Yes. Anyways,
I like that.
yeah, I got to be optimistic, especially after the 4 nations.
Yeah, man, and like, you know, you're optimistic about that, but how about the Ontario Reign? I think this is the first. Is this the first time that they have lost a week all year?
It's the first time in a while.
It's the first time in a while. I was trying to think
it's the
about
first time in 2026 they have.
Oh, 100%. But I'm trying to think like,
but
they have only lost back-to-back twice.
In regulation.
Spoiler alert, this week is the 3rd time. But I'm trying to think, were those back-to-backs like separate weeks?
I have no idea. But you got to realize this. This is the first time the Ontario Reign have quote-unquote hit a roadblock. Sir, we are over halfway into this season. Holy.
Yeah. It kind of like I said, you know, I mean, this was this week the 3rd time all season that they have lost back-to-back games. And I had a crazy stat that I counted up for one of my pre-games. It might have been on, I think it was the San Diego pregame on Mayor's Manor. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out, even though that's kind of outdated. 20, so they lost, okay, so they were 42 games in up to that point.
Yep.
In 20 of those games, the Reign were on a winning streak, or those wins were a part of a winning streak. That's almost half the season. That's one game short of half the season. That's nuts. And that's why they have been so good this season, and why they are at where they at is because they haven't had a 5-game win streak yet this season. They haven't really gone on this crazy streak yet, but they're so consistent at just winning games, and when they lose, they bounce back. It's been unbelievable what they have been able to do, and like you said, if they lose on Wednesday to Tucson, that would be their first 3-game losing streak and quote-unquote their first real roadblock of the season.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about the... Huh?
Your mic...
Yeah, I know. My mic disconnected. I'm still rolling here for a second, folks. Sorry. Because mine is working unlike his. What the Reign need to realize is this is the 3rd time this year. They've lost 2 games in a row or more. I'm pretty sure Colosso's already said that. It is the 2nd time they have done both games they've lost in regulation. And honestly, when you have a heartbreaker like Saturday's game, which we'll get to momentarily, that can drain you, especially when you have to play again 18 hours later.
Yeah, I have a few comparisons that I have for that, and obviously we will get to it when we get to it. But yeah, man, I mean they truly hit a roadblock this week, where they lose a heartbreaker and then they just look probably one of their worst games of the season. Definitely their worst home game of the season for sure,
by a mile.
Without a doubt. But yeah, man, we will see what they're able to do next week. But first, we got to get through this week, man. What are we even talking about, man? We got to get through this week first. We got to recap everything that happened. So
we do.
We got any Zamboni cleaning today? I don't think you put anything. I don't think we got any notes. Hey, well, no. Kenny Connors call up to the NHL.
Yeah. So I'm having technical difficulties. We're just gonna roll through the Zamboni clean, then we'll reset. Kenny Connors has been called up to the National Hockey League. He was supposed to make his debut in Philadelphia. You can go right ahead and thank Andrzej Kopitar for coming off the IR to spoil that party. Other things, Kenta Iso guy has been sent back down to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. If this wasn't in here already, Isaiah Seville was sent back down to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We already covered that last week. For now, this is the Ontario Reign team we're rolling with. We have no new injury updates, nothing from Kyle Burrows or anyone like that. So we'll see what happens, especially in these last 3 games or so before we get to the All-Star break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 19 of the Make It Rain podcast. We are rackety right now. This episode of the Make It Rain podcast is presented to you by Gowdy Law, because we all know having a game plan is key, but when it comes to your family's future, are you ready? Gowdy Law is here to help, specialize in estate planning. Gowdy Law ensures your loved ones are protected from losing a ton of money and time to probate when you pass away. Just like on the ice, preparation matters. Don't wait till the last minute to make the right play. Visit GowdyLaw.com today to start planning for the future. Get estate planning pricing and a free consultation right on their website. It's that simple. The price is right on their website. Gowdy Law, make estate planning easy, understandable, and affordable. The link is in the description, or you can visit our offices in downtown Upland. This game felt so long ago, but here we go. It's a midweek matchup in the 909 versus the reigning Calder Cup champs in the first. Let's welcome DRE. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Tipping 20%. What a generous man. Past Yuri Patura, and it's 1-0. Lucas Reichel, Blackhawks legend, makes it 1-1. But let's just get to the middle frame, because this one got really good. We'll go to Jared first to make it 2-1. Then fresh out the box on the man advantage. Keep your teammates close, but your goalie's closer. I think that's how it goes. The Godfather, one tease at home to make it 3-1. And near the end of the second, everybody's favorite Finnish rapper, Kid Yamsen, makes it 4-1. In the final frame, Francesco Pinelli, that sniper, makes it 5-1. Yuri Patura, check your glove. Vilmer Eriksson makes it 5-2. Chris Paul hits a huge three to cut the lead to 42. Rain win. Horn. This was, man, this game was absolutely awesome out of the Ontario Reign. You were kind of just expecting this game just because this is how the Reign have played all year, it feels like. And, man, they performed. They performed.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was one of those feel-good wins where even though that it was against, the last place Canucks and whatnot, you can easily label this as one of those trap games. The Canucks were coming off a 3-game winning streak up into this point when they were coming into the arena. So for the Reign to kind of shut down that winning streak and just be like, I don't care about your winning streak. We are going to come out and we are going to just pummel you guys into the ice.
We
that
do
was
not
nice,
care,
man. Yeah, and hey, I gotta tell you. I mean, I guess we can start with this. After this win, man, I mean, it was one of those feel-good wins, like I said, where it just felt like everything was rolling for Ontario. I was going back to my seat where after each period, sometimes I will walk around the arena just to take a lap. You sit down for 20 minutes, which is really like 30 minutes, 35 minutes for a period.
Yep, 38.
I walk around and I ran into Mikey, and he puts his arm around me, and he looks at me. He goes, "This team's really good."
Yes, they are.
And I go, "This team is really good." He goes, "Hey, we've had some good teams in the past, but this team right now, I feel the most confident in where they can win the entire thing." And that's just that was the feel inside of that arena. That was the feel within everybody who really watched the Reign or a diehard Reign fan or who covered the Reign like me and Joe. That was the feel to say this team is unstoppable right now. And obviously that kind of came to a close in these next two games, but just for this game alone and after the game, just such a feel-good win. Such a feel-good win. Oh,
absolutely. It is a feel-good win. When you get Abbotsford to come to your house, Abbotsford has been struggling lately. Saturday and Sunday, they got pummeled by the Bakersfield Condors. And the Reign, I think they jump-started that entire thing, because for those who don't remember last week's episode, Abbotsford had won 3 straight before coming to Southern California. They swept San Diego in their series at the Rogers Forum. And then the Reign, voice crack, absolutely, curb stomped them. We're going to put it the way it is. They just absolutely beat them up physically, mentally, every side of the book.
Yeah, and I feel like it was a fairly tightly contested game all throughout the first period, but it kind of leaned the Canucks' way kind of after the first media timeout. I believe that the first period ended 1-1. Yeah, so Andre Lee got the scoring started, like Joe said, pretty early into the game, and it was Lucas Reichel, who, by the way, Maddie, who watches the pod, I think, she had like a sign up for him. I saw that pregame, and then he scored, so that was kind of like a little bit of a good luck charm. And then after that, man, it was just all Ontario, dude. All Ontario, all the way through, man. They just took control of the game. And there was nothing Abbotsford could really do about it.
Oh no, not one bit. And this team just performed head to toe for a full 50 minutes, because I'm not going to count the final 10 of the first period. But they pummeled Abbotsford in almost every single stat category. It's honestly borderline hilarious. The only thing they did not pummel them in was the shot totals. The Reign scored 5 goals on 18 shots.
Yeah, and we'll get to this as well. The third period, even though that it was good, it was structured for the Reign. Only 3 shots on goal compared to Abbotsford's 11, and that's going to be a big thing in the upcoming games that we're going to talk about pretty soon.
Yep.
But even before that, I believe there was a. Was it this game? I believe it was this game. There was a 5-on. No, that was San Diego's game. Was it San Diego? Yeah, it was San Diego's game where it was a 5-on-3 and then a 5-on-4. But Ontario did have a penalty kill where Angus Booth had the puck lodged against the backboards for about 30 seconds, maybe even more than that. Yeah. And then there was another penalty kill almost right after that, and Booth had another couple good plays that he had. Booth has really elevated his game again. When he was coming off his injury, he wasn't the Angus Booth we saw from last year, the Angus Booth that was getting comparisons to Mikey Anderson. And now Boother has kind of gone back into his game a little bit. And with Mikey Anderson, ironically enough, going down for the Kings, you have to kind of see and wait, and knowing our luck, we're going to film this episode just like last week. And then Angus Booth's probably going to get a recall. Just like last week where we stopped filming 10 minutes later, Kenny Connors is getting called up. But
yeah,
I mean, we can definitely see him next up.
Yeah. Hilarious thing about last week's episode, Kenny Connors got called up. What was it? No more than 10 minutes after.
It was right after
we were done recording. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of broke all my stuff down. I laid in bed and then a recall. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And it's like,
I mean, last year too, one time where like we stopped recording and then like 30 minutes later, it was like, oh, Phineas Copp is getting called up. And that was a big episode because we were talking about like the Copper Portillo situation, how Portillo's been like struggling. And he was like, he hasn't been good, and everybody was like banging for his recall. Like, we gotta get Portillo up here. I'm like, yo, Portillo is not good right now. And then right after that episode, Copley got called up. It's like, okay.
Yep.
But now our entire episode's kind of ruined.
Yep. It can never be easy, folks. It can never be easy. Just start doing a podcast and you'll eventually find out. Yeah, the Ontario Reign, this was their 10th win in January. I mean, it's just a further testament to how this team's been playing. When your team goes 10-2 in 1 month, nothing to slouch at whatsoever at all.
And they went through some tough road. They went through a 6-game road trip in January. So they really impressed in this month. Probably one of their best months I can remember covering the team or being on beat of the team. You know who also had a really nice game this game is S2E19.
Yes, he did.
We're going to talk about him later, but first start of the game, he had a sick goal. It wasn't a full coast to coast, but it was like a Tennessee to Santa Monica type thing.
Yeah.
Nice goal, shifted to his backhand.
Forehand.
We gotta see that more from Jammer, because that's the kind of stuff that I was hearing about before last season, where they were like, this kid Jammer, he's got the skill and he's got the makeup to be an NHL caliber player. He just needs to bulk up a little bit. He needs to kind of get used to the smaller ice, because he played it in Liga where the ice is a little bit bigger. And that's the kind of goal that if he can continue doing stuff like that, I believe that he'll have a better chance of getting called up. Because right now he's in that little Pinelli situation where he's kind of like an AHL or, Tyler Madden.
Yeah.
So see what happens with him.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Excuse me. I mean, S2E19 is definitely something that needs to be addressed. Him and Kirill Kirsanov, like, Reign fans, we need to remember the fact that these guys were completely unfamiliar to the North American ice when they got to Ontario. Like, Kirsanov had growing pains at the start of the year. Jammer had the same thing last year, and now we're watching these guys flourish. S2E19's a 7th round draft pick too. So, I mean, man, needless to say, I think the Kings are getting their bang for their buck right now.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Reign dominate the midweek game, retain control of first place, and that will take us to Saturday for the 15 freeway rivalry.
Yes, indeed. The Ontario Reign head down the 15 freeway as they look to extend their winning streak to 4 games for the 3rd time this season. Before anyone could even get into their seat, which, by the way, sellout crowd in Pechanga Arena's Star Wars night always brings a big crowd anywhere. Jacob, Doty, and Travis Howe, which should be the main event of the evening, they go toe-to-toe in what was an awesome minute-plus tilt. Not too long after, guess who's back? Andre Lee again. He gets Ontario on the board first. It's 1-0. In the second, Judd Cauliflower Ear ties the game for San Diego, but the Reign do what they do best. The Empire strikes back. It's deja vu from last game. Jared Wright scores the second goal of the game to make it 2-1 Ontario. Lee Wright. Here we go. In the third, it's Tyson Hines. He evened things up for San Diego. But again, about a minute later, of all people, it's Jacob Dvorak. He racks the third of the year. Reign back on top 3-2. And after that, it went south for Ontario. So south, the Reign might have ended up in Tijuana. It's Carpenter tying things up before Nathan Gauger sticks the dagger with 17 seconds left. It's a heartbreaker for Ontario. Ouch. 4-3 the final.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it was... I mean, how do you even put that into words? I mean, well, first of all, I think we can start with this. I think we can kind of really have the viewers understand it. Or if you watch the game, obviously, and you follow us, which if you follow us, you're probably a diehard Reign fan, so thank you for sticking around and watching the pod. You know more than anybody, this was really a hard loss to swallow. And mainly because of the fact that this game felt like your vintage, and I wasn't around for this. Maybe Joe was, so maybe he can testify a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I always heard about these Reign goals games, before the Firebirds were a thing, when the Stockton Heat were still around.
San Antonio Rampage. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the Reign and the goals, it was the rivalry. That was the rivalry that everybody came to, always a sellout crowd in both arenas.
Mm-hmm.
And man, with the goals being somewhat decent this year, I mean, this was one of those vintage games, like Red Sox Yankees, where it's 11-11 at Fenway Park, 4 hours. That's kind of what this was, dude.
This game was a shootout.
Yeah, and the game plan was clear from San Diego from the start. They kind of watched film, and I think the Reign have had the most trouble with the San Jose Barracuda. And what did the Barracuda do?
Put the puck on net.
Well, yes, but they play fast,
and
they play physical. Emphasize the physical part.
Yes.
That's what San Diego did. You can tell in the first 5 minutes, what were they doing? They were finishing their checks. They were laying out the Reign against the boys, laying them out. And I knew from that point, like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a tough game for the Reign because they don't like this. They don't like it. And they played them well for the first two, somewhat well. And that third period was just, wow.
Yikes. Disgusting. Yeah. I mean, to back up what Collazo was saying, in the third period, the Reign were outshot. Is it 19-2? Yeah, 19-2. Ugh, not good. Yeah, it can't happen at all. This game also snaps the Reign's streak of power play goals. They go 0-for-2 on the power play, which, man, that's a miracle at this rate. I'm shocked they didn't score on the power play either. They definitely had a couple of good looks, but hey, when push comes to shove, folks, the San Diego goals took this game in a controversial fashion. We're going to cover that right here, right now. Nathan Gaucher's goal with 17.5 seconds on the clock. Phoenix Copley is very, very clearly interfered with inside the blue paint. There is no call. Copley's helmet falls off, and Copley was so irate that once time expired in this game, he got a 10-minute misconduct for throwing his equipment. Not normal to see out of an NHL goalie, and it kind of sucks. I mean, personally, for me, because I got to chat with a few of the Reign season ticket holders on this, when San Diego fans, because Star Wars Night sold out, there's probably a lot of first-time fans there, are in the Reigns fans' faces, San Diego, or whatever the hell they're doing. First of all, you guys are bums. We know this. You guys have sucked the past 2 years. This is the first year you're kind of good again. And even then, you're not really good. I'm telling you this. The Reign in April, the next time they see San Diego, I will bet my bottom dollar on it that they win that game by 5 goals.
Wow.
They are not going to forget this game. This game is going to be... One thing you guys got to realize, hockey players keep receipts, man. They're going to remember this game.
Dude, and kind of piggybacking off that point, like not even just the fans, dude. I can't emphasize this enough. I root for the Reign. I cover the Reign. I have a relationship with Marco Sturm back then, and now Andrew Lord. I have a little bit of a relationship with some of the players. They've been good to me. I've been good to them. I don't try to cross the line with any of my questions. And they give me good answers, right? And so I can do my job, they do their job.
Yep.
So I root for them. I want them to win. But I'm not this like diehard fan where like, I'm living and dying by every loss the way I am with like the Yankees or like the Rangers back then.
Yeah. Not anymore. Whoo, man, they are horrible.
But like when who was it? When Justin Bailey and Glenn Godden got into it, and Justin Bailey got up and started like doing that thing, dude. Oh, that got me so pissed. That got me so... I was like, bro, stop, dude. Stop. You're fighting Glenn Godden, for goodness sake, bro.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I said the exact same thing. Here's exactly what I said word for word. And I'm like, bro, just fight Jacob Doty at this rate. If you're going to run your mouth like that. Trust me, there are so many Reign fans that dislike Justin Bailey with a passion. He sucks. He is never going to play in the NHL again. He's an AHL journeyman, and he is over here running his mouth on 20 and 21-year-olds. Well, I mean, Glenn Godden is 26 or something like that, but still.
Oh, yeah. That was such a punk move.
It was a punk move. Correct.
I was like, oh, my God. It got me fired up, bro, the way I would if, like, I was rooting for him. I was like, bro, stop.
Yeah, stop.
Dude. What are you doing, dude? Yeah, that was funny. And then obviously not too long after, Nathan Gaucher puts the game-winning goal in, which is very controversial. I don't know how you
don't pull that off.
Apparently, there's no replay in the AHL for goal interferences.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'll explain why right now. Some of the AHL stadiums are close to a century in age. They are close to 100 years old. You think they've got all the technology for that? Heck no. Of course they don't.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. Until every stadium gets that type of technology, like having the camera above the goal line, we're never going to get something like that.
Oh,
never will.
And by the way, just kind of last time dogging on goals, I promise. The announcers, because I wanted to go back and find the play and post on my X. The announcers were like, yeah, I mean, what's the holdup here? I mean, Copley kind of dragged himself into who interfered with him? I forgot his name. Nestorenko, right? He said Copley kind of dragged himself into Nestorenko, and then that's what happened. I don't know what the holdup is here. It's clearly not interference. I was like, a broadcaster is saying that, yo. Like, he went to school. He knows hockey. He's probably been doing this for years. What?
Man, that man went to the Jack Edwards School of Hockey.
Not
announcer.
Interference? What are you talking about? He put a knee to his head.
For the record, Jack Edwards is the announcer for the Boston Bruins, recently retired. He is the biggest homer in National Hockey League announcing history. And yeah, he's got some wild claims. That is a wild claim.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
And honestly,
if you put up a post for 32 teams, goal or no goal, 31 of them are saying no goal. Ryan Carpenter has 2 feet in the crease. Brett Hull would like a word with you. And he gets a stick on Copley's helmet and rips off Copley's helmet. And the controversy was, oh, Copley took off his own helmet. Brother, what game are you watching?
Yeah, I mean, that's That was that was something.
What
I
game
listened
are
to
you
that.
watching?
Everything about that game kind of got me upset.
Yeah,
Which maybe I'm turning into a fan because I think my hopes right now are pretty high that this team can
do something.
make a run at the Calder Cup, and that would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Um,
Mike
Maybe
Dietrich,
that's why
Jacob
I've been
Hicks.
feeling this way recently. But yeah, I mean, between the broadcaster and Justin Bailey, and apparently the fans too, which doesn't shock me. I mean that it probably was an awesome environment. It was an awesome game, and
San
I
Diego
really
in
hope
usual
that this
San Diego
rivalry.
fashion.
Well, I really hope that this rivalry continues to be this way because
Yes.
if it is, that's awesome. Hockey and this league is better when the Reign and the Gold are both decently good and they're having these kind of battles.
Oh, and the
where
Firebirds,
fans
by the
go
way.
back and forth. And the Firebirds. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, second controversial call that loses Ontario the game. If you remember, about a month ago,
Yep.
the Reign lost to the Barracuda on a 0.1 second goal. That was controversial. We still really don't even know what the true time was. The Jumbotron in the arena had it at like 0.6 seconds past the puck. The broadcast has it at about borderline, like bang bang. You know, and then on top of that, Colorado beat Tucson on Saturday, which means that the Reign are officially in second place as of Saturday.
Yeah. All right. I'm done rambling on this game. Let's go to Sunday. 18 hours later. Excuse me.
I got the road like Jagger. I got the road like Jagger. And in the middle, it was Stevens and Jack Hughes. 5-1 Firebirds win. Yeah,
that recap took 13 seconds. 13 seconds is about how long it took for us to realize that the Ontario Reign were not locked in for this game.
Yeah,
they gave up a goal. What was it? 56 seconds in? 54 seconds in.
54.
Yeah. All-star, Jagger Furcus. Nice feed by Yanni Newman. Backhand feed. And then Furcus, backhand. Eric Portillo is swimming. And yeah. Yeah.
Furcus and Leighton Road.
Leighton Road shorthanded. Thank you very much, referee, for getting in the way. It kicks.
They kept getting. They kept getting in the way in this game.
Yes.
And I noticed that so much. I was like, whoever this ref is, dude, keeps getting in the way. He did it so many times in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't even a part of our notes, guys. Like that reminded me of how bad the ref was. Not like his calls or anything. Just his ability to get out of the way during plays was unbelievably bad.
And
it was awful.
And the hilarious bit is one of the referees was also a referee in the San Diego game the night before, Jacob Hicks.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
good evening. How are we?
When they're on the boards, a referee is supposed to get off the boards and kind of skate around the puck as it goes around or something. He wasn't moving. He would just wait for them to come close, and then he would just jump over the puck and then get in the way. I was like, you need to move.
Yeah, he was flat-footed. We'll call
he did it like 3 or 4 times in this game.
Yep.
I'm like, you cannot do that. You gotta get out of the way.
Absolutely. So we're going to point up the one good thing that happened in this game. Andre Lee, reverse hit. I forget who it was on. Gets into a scrap with John Hayden. I just remembered that. They gets into a scrap. Gen Z fight, by the way. Actually, absolute wrestling match. And and that fired up the Ontario Reign. The Reign, the rest of that period, went to go on and outshoot the Firebirds 9-1. That one shot, hilariously enough, was Leighton Road's shorthanded goal, cause of course, and the Reign score another power play goal. Thank you, Jack Hughes. Not much. Not much you can say about this game.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I want to touch on, and I wrote this in my pregame as well on Sundays. If you want to check that out, go ahead. I like to compare this to, and I think if you're a baseball fan, you probably remember this. I don't know, Joe remembers this. When the Yankees traded for, I think it was like 3 relievers at the trade deadline, everybody was excited because that was the Yankees' weak point, right?
And then they went and blew a lead against the Marlins. All 3 of the new relievers.
They went to Miami, and all 3 of those new relievers blew like an 8-run lead. The Yankees came back in that game, were leading, and then gave up 3 runs when they were up by 2 in the 9th inning and lost the game.
Yeah.
They got swept. They got swept that series. Those last 2 games, even the manager, Aaron Boone, admitted it, and he doesn't admit anything. He said, you know what? Those last 2 games, I felt like after we lost that first game, those last 2 kind of lingered. Mm-hmm. And when the Reign lost that game in San Diego, the first thing in my head, first thing was Justin Bailey's a prick and the announcer's an idiot. And then
Correct.
the second thing in my head was, oh my gosh, the Reign play tomorrow afternoon. They have to get over this loss. And again, the loss was a heartbreaker. We tried to explain it to you guys.
Yep.
And I just had a feeling. And I'm like, this loss is going to linger over. And the Reign need to get off to a hot start because if they don't, they're
It's
never
God bless you.
And when they went down 1-0 early, I was like, gosh,
Oh,
dang
boy.
it lingered over. And they're
Yep.
not going to play good. And that kind of that's kind of what happened.
Yep. That matter. That's exactly what happened. Jack LaFontaine got the 3rd star of the game. He was rock solid for Coachella Valley. The Reign put up some good shots in those first 2 periods. 3rd period, I'm going to just not talk about again. He goes 20 for 21. And Jack LaFontaine this season, sorry, my voice is going to start giving out sooner rather than later. Yeah, he's 3-0 this year after being recalled with a 1.5 goals against and a save percentage at .940. This man is replacing Nike Coco, who has been awesome for the Firebirds this year. And right now it's Jack LaFontaine and Victor Osman or Osman. I don't even know how you pronounce it. And they are holding down the fort for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. They are slowly creeping their way back up in the standings. Yay. Just like 2 years ago. And the Reign are starting to unravel here. They've got to get themselves back together before next week.
Yeah, and I think they'll be able to. Obviously, 2 losses in a row. It's only the 3rd time this season. I think that this is something that we're gonna look back on and laugh at. But you know, a tight loss Saturday, a blowout loss on Sunday. It's not great. And I think a rest is what they need. You know, they're off Monday, they're off Tuesday, and then they play when you guys see this tomorrow against Tucson.
And then they've got a home and home against the Bakersfield Condors.
Indeed, and let me tell you, I believe. What was the point I was gonna make? I totally forgot, Joe. I totally forgot what point I was gonna make. Oh, that's what I was gonna make. This is around the time where the Aperture Canucks got hot.
Yes.
And they never looked back last season. They never looked back. They were in maybe 4th or 5th place at this time, and then they got really, really hot, and
ended up in 2nd.
Lose 8 in a row.
They won 13 in a row. They won 13 in a row, 17 of 19, ended up in the playoffs, and won the whole dang thing.
Exactly. So
if you're hot, you're hot.
Even if the Reign lose all 3 games next week, let's say, which hopefully not, obviously. They need to get some sort of cold streak out of the way, or anything, because they haven't had one yet. And I told my dad this.
It's inevitable.
After Wednesday, I'm like, every hockey team is gonna hit a cold streak. Even the Grand Rapids Griffins at some point they're gonna lose.
They just hit one. They lost 3 straight this past week.
You need the Reign need to get out of the way now, dude, because then they need to get hot by March, and you gotta ride that through. And that's how you win a Calder Cubs. That's what the Firebirds were doing when they went to back-to-back Calder Cubs.
That's what the Hershey Bears did. That's exactly. That's what the
Canucks last year.
That's what the Milwaukee Admirals did 2 years ago. That's what the Reign did 2 years ago. Too bad they just ran into another team that had 103 or 105 points in 72 games. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they got to get this cold streak out of the way. If they lose Wednesday, no big deal. If they lose if they lose both games with the home and home and lose 5 in a row, no big deal. Just get it out of the way. Get hot by March. You know, this is the time where you can kind of start throwing away games a little bit, especially if you're the Reign, because you haven't really had a cold streak all season.
No.
And I believe in do. I totally believe in do. So get it out of the way, get it hot by March, and ride it through.
Yep, absolutely agree. One thing that y'all need to realize as well, after these 3 games, the Reign are off for a week. The All-Star break is the following week. And spoiler, we will have a special guest on the broadcast, or on the podcast, not the broadcast. I don't know what I'm talking about. And the Reign just need to get through everything. There's kinks. Kenny Connors just got called up, which I honestly will attribute a little bit.
That's another big deal. We didn't even really
attribute to that losing streak. Yeah. But one thing for the Reign that has been rock solid, January, 29% on the power play. If you were to compare that to the other 31 teams, the Reign are in first place over the Milwaukee Admirals, who I think are at 27%. The Reign have shot up into the top 10 on the power play. They have shot up into the top 10 on the penalty kill. They are one of 2 teams to be top 10 in both of those, the other being the Grand Rapids Griffins, by the way. They're in the top 10 in both of those things. Special teams is not a worry for the Ontario Reign. Their 5-on-5 play, their 4-on-4 play, their extension play with 3v3. So be it. It's got to be better. That's it. That is the fixing piece for the Ontario Reign.
Yeah, and then one more point to kind of piggyback off that. In the third period this week, the Reign had
2
7
shots on goal again.
Yeah, so 7 shots in third periods this week.
Over 3 games.
Gotta be better. Gotta be better.
Can't mail it in.
7 shots in 60 minutes. Not good.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. Let's get into the rain weather report.
Yep. Into the rain weather report. Go. Mr. Jared Wright is getting the 100% for 2 goals and 2 assists. He's flying around, as of course is tradition. Jared Wright is not suffering in the absence of his roommate, Kenny Connors.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, he played good. What was the last game of last week? Was it Colorado? It was Colorado, right?
Yes.
He played good in that Colorado game, just wasn't rewarded on the stat sheet.
You said something about this too.
Yeah, and he comes into Abbotsford, or not into Abbotsford. He plays against Abbotsford. He scores a goal. He gets an assist. And the same thing in the goals game, a goal and an assist.
Yep.
So he has been playing well. He is getting better as time goes on. Angelo had a great quote where I think he said something along the lines of, when you're doing everything right, like, you know, you're angling pucks correctly, you're forechecking correctly, you're doing everything correctly, you're gonna get rewarded in this game. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And I know Kenny Connors got the call up, but Jared Wright's playing right now like he can be next up, especially bottom 6 player. You know, Martin Kromek is not a bottom 6 player in the NHL.
A penalty killer, potentially.
Same with Alexandrov. Wright is a bottom 6 player, fast, big, a penalty killer.
Yep.
He can do it all, and I think next year for sure he'll be up with the Kings at some point.
I think he's going to get called up. The Kings have one more injury.
Maybe. That'd be interesting.
I wouldn't doubt it. It has to happen to a forward, by the way, not a defenseman, because Mikey Anderson is knocking on the door. Who do you have at 50%?
Andre Lee, 100% Andre Lee for the 50%. You know, 2 goals. He didn't play as good as Wright, who had 2 goals and 2 assists, but Andre Lee, 2 goals, no assists. He got to start in 2 games. He got to start against Abbotsford. He got to start against the goals. And by the way, even though he wasn't on the stat sheet against Coachella Valley, we touched into it a little bit. He got the team fired up. They were getting outshot in that Firebirds game. I think like 8-0 to start. It was, let's see, I think it was
9-0.
6, 7.
Or 7?
So it was 7-0.
Then the Reign.
Andre Lee gets into a fight with John Hayden, and from that point on,
the Reign going out shoot them 9-1.
9-1, which that one was a goal for the Firebirds, so we can't miss that.
Course.
But it got the team fired up. They looked a lot better. It actually brought them back into the game a little bit before the last 40 minutes happened. But yeah, Andre Lee, I mean, what's new, man? I mean, he was great in the AHL before his recall. He's great after he got sent back down. He's gonna be here for the whole year. I don't think the Kings want to lose him on waivers when everybody's healthy for a playoff time or when they're making a playoff push.
Yeah.
They don't want Lee to get sent down and he has to clear waivers because he's not going to clear waivers.
No, he won't.
So I think Lee's going to be with us. Unfortunately, Taylor Ward's not here no more. He's going to be with the Kings all year. Lee's going to be with us. And he's going to really, him and Joe Higgins are really going to captain this team and hopefully into a Calder Cup, which would be pretty sick.
Please, pretty, please. 0% is Nikita Alexandrov, who was catch this, a very uncharacteristic -6 this week. Good Lord.
Yeah, we were looking for players to give the 0%.
Jacob Dvorak was on there.
Diva was on there, but he scored that goal against San Diego. Which
he's going to become the new Riley Walsh. I'm not liking that.
It's not. Nikita Alexandrov -6 can't happen. Well, not really can't happen. Just kind of how hockey works. Sometimes. He wasn't great this week. He had 1 assist. He's 1 assist shy of assist number 100 in AHL. Maybe he's pressing a little bit to try to hit that milestone. Who knows? That could definitely play a factor.
Definitely.
But yeah, he just wasn't great this week. His back check, it's always been weak, but it hasn't been. It was especially weak this week. Hey, and by the way, his counterpart or his trade partner, Akil Thomas, finally got into a game, by the way, for the Springfield Thunderbirds this week. So that was something well. But yeah, I mean, all in all, the Reign really, like, nobody played good in the third period in these games. By the
Yeah.
way, Andre Lee got to 50%. I don't know what the heck he was doing on the game time goal for San Diego.
Yeah.
That was bad all the way around. I don't know what Copley was doing. I don't know what Buther was doing. And Lee had it the worst. I don't know what the heck he was doing.
Yeah.
And that sort of lost in the game.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunate.
2 losses. They didn't necessarily play awful except for that final game
Yeah.
in the third periods, but
The final 4 periods for the Reign were not good.
it's tough. This team is good 1 through 4, man. You really don't understand how good they are until you start looking through the lines and you're like, who can we give 0% this week? And you're like, they all play their part.
Yeah.
They're all good in their roles. Like realistically, if it was like straight hockey, it would be Doughty probably every week. But even Doughty like does his job pretty dang well.
Yeah.
So
He fights.
yeah, exactly. So
Death, taxes, and fighting.
he hasn't really lost a fight yet. Like the closest one was probably Hal this week, and
Yeah.
even then, it was still a good fight. Like he didn't like
Mhm.
lose it. So
Nobody won that fight. That fight went for 1 minute and 8 seconds. Doughty threw 31 punches. Good grief. Moving into next week for the AHL Pacific Division, Tuesday, the Calgary Wranglers take on the Bakersfield Condors at Dignity Health Arena. Wednesday, Henderson in San Diego, Coachella Valley at San Jose, and the Ontario Reign, for the first time since opening weekend, take on the Tucson Roadrunners at 7 p.m. We'll skip you over to Friday. Tucson is in Calgary. Oh, my gosh, that's a tough travel schedule. The Chicago Wolves go to Blue Arena to take on the Colorado Eagles. The Reign are in Bakersfield to take on the Condors at 7 p.m. Coachella Valley is at Henderson. San Jose is at Rogers Forum in Abbotsford. And Saturday, San Jose at Abbotsford, Tucson at Calgary, Coachella Valley at Henderson, Chicago at Colorado. And the Reign have the other side of the home series, Pink in the Rink at 6 p.m. Be there or be square. And after that, we'll see you in a week. The All-Star break comes. Games will come back February 13th. The Olympics are on, so if you are bored, just go watch that. Thank you very much. Or watch the Super Bowl, because that's coming up too.
yes, sir. You want to read the standings real quick?
Yep, let's roll into the standings really quick because I do not have it pulled up. All right, first place, Colorado Eagles at 60 points, 28-10-4. The Reign also have 28 wins. However, they have 2 more losses, and they're in second place at 58 points. The Bakersfield Condors at 24-12-7 and 55 points are in third. San Jose and Coachella Valley both at 51 points. San Jose 24-13-3. Coachella Valley 23-14-5. San Diego Gulls in sixth place at 49 points, 20-14-9. Tucson Roadrunners in seventh, 19-15-8, 46 points.
My.
And then outside looking in, you've got the Henderson Silver Knights, who have 40 games played, so they're going to catch up to everybody. 18-15-7. The Calgary Wranglers are crumbling, 16-18-10. The Reign don't even play them anymore this year. And the Abbotsford Canucks are 15-25-6 at 36 points. They have fallen off the face of the earth since last week.
I saw your Instagram post, or I guess our Instagram post, but you made it.
Yeah, I got you.
But I didn't really like see it. Like I just hopped off work. I kind of just like hopped on Instagram and whatnot. You said the Firebirds were creeping up earlier. They're really not even there yet, which is a testament to how good the Reign have been, really.
Yeah, hilariously enough.
And then I didn't realize that the Wranglers have just completely freefalled.
Yeah.
They're 1-7-1-1 in their past 10 games, and they're in 9th place.
Tom Petty would like a word with you.
What in the world happened to them?
Yep.
They were in first place last year for the majority of the year.
And then they fell off completely.
And then they fell off. But like still, they were still in first place for a long time. Remember, they were running away with it for like a long time. And then they just, I think, who got called up? It was who was the goalie last year? I think he got traded. Maybe he's still in Calgary. Their goalie, Devin. Oh, what's his name?
Devin Cooley.
Yeah, that was why Cooley was just carrying him in the wind, and he got called up. And then the Wranglers were awful after that. Like it was really a testament of like Cooley's carrying the team, and then he got called up. They were awful.
Yeah, and they fall off.
That's nuts. I didn't even realize that.
Yep, they fell off. Put it in short. Yeah. So with that, my voice is borderline shot, and thank you very much for watching season 2, episode 19 of the Make It Rain podcast. You know, draw from here on out. You can subscribe down below. Follow us on all social medias at Make It Rain Pod. Follow us on Spotify at Make It Rain Pod. Thank you very much for listening this week. Have a great week. Enjoy the 3 games, and we will see you next Monday. Peace. Have a great Tuesday.